Unexpected colors. Blurb. When Jessa Morrison leaves bustling New York City to start over in the quaint town of Eldridge Falls, she believes the fresh air and slower pace will allow her to rediscover her passion for painting. She dreams of a serene life filled with art and inspiration, until a mysterious car wreck leads to an encounter with the captivating and unpredictable Riley, a local whose magnetic charm is impossible to ignore. Riley has perfected the role of the enigmatic small-town artist, adventurous, charmingly reckless, and known for stirring trouble, but beneath the surface, there's a fierce desire for connection. When a string of outrageous incidents brings Jessa and Riley together, they agree to embark on a no-strings-attached adventure that promises to be the thrill of a lifetime. However, as laughter turns into late-night confessions and stolen kisses, the lines between casual and serious blur, revealing fears and desires neither had prepared for. Can their whirlwind romance survive when the past and the expectations of small-town life threaten to tear them apart? Excerpt. Jessa Morrison stood at the edge of her back garden, staring in disbelief at the chaos unfolding mere yards away. It was early morning in Eldridge Falls, a perfect, serene morning, until an out-of-control vehicle spiraled off the road, sending dirt and grass flying as it landed in the neighboring field. The sight was surreal. She rubbed her eyes, wishing the image would vanish, yet it didn't. Jessa had stepped outside her cozy cottage to soak in the morning sunlight, when the sound of screeching tires and a loud crash shattered her peaceful moment. Cautiously, she stepped forward, the scent of damp earth filling her nostrils, and she could barely process what she was witnessing. A slender figure emerged from the wreckage, standing up as if the impact had done nothing more than ruffle her hair. Jessa's breath caught as the woman began to hurl an impressive array of curses, each one spilling out with a mix of frustration and flair. Laughter bubbled up inside Jessa before she could stop it. She pressed her lips together, trying to stifle the inappropriate amusement bubbling within her. What was so funny about a wreck? Nothing, really, but there was something about this woman. You find my predicament amusing, the woman snapped, turning toward Jessa with a fierce expression that was more outrageous than intimidating. Jessa shook her head, a smile fighting its way back to her face. The woman was wearing a tattered leather jacket, and her wild hair seemed to shimmer in the morning light, framing a face that was strikingly beautiful in a way that made Jessa's heart flutter. I wasn't laughing at you, I promise. Just the delivery, Jessa managed. Delivery? The woman stepped closer, and Jessa caught her breath. She noted the way the morning light caught highlights in the stranger's dark hair, and how her sharp jawline contrasted against a subtle curve to her lips. You must be misinformed about proper conduct when someone nearly dies in a motorcycle accident. Jessa's laughter slipped out again, knees shaking as the tension of the moment shifted. I highly doubt you're as badly injured as you appear, she replied teasingly. Is that so? My sincere apologies, but I seem to have lost control of my bike. An invisible force threw me into that field, the woman shot back, a devilish grin breaking across her face as she leaned against the nearby fence. I might need an ambulance, you know. Aha. Jessa's heart raced as she stepped forward, drawn in by the other woman's undeniable magnetism. I didn't see an ambulance. Well, perhaps you might consider helping me instead. The woman smirked, her bright blue eyes locked onto Jessa's, challenging yet inviting. I should probably take your pulse first. The woman's laugh was infectious, ringing like a melody across the open field. You may find that I have a very strong pulse, especially when I'm angered. The name's Riley, by the way. Jessa, she introduced herself, feeling the energy between them shift dramatically as she found herself stepping closer. Riley pushed herself off the fence and took a small step towards Jessa, the distance shrinking and daring sparks to ignite between them. So Jessa, what do you say to a little adventure? Adventure? A rush of anticipation twisted in Jessa's stomach. After your motorcycle wreck. Exactly. But no judgment, I promise to keep my death-defying stunts to a minimum. Riley winked, leaning in slightly as if sharing a delicious secret. Jessa smiled, her heart racing with a mix of exhilaration and caution. And what exactly does this adventure entail? Oh, I don't know. Exploring the hidden gems of Eldridge Falls, maybe even rescuing me from the social pressures of small-town life. Jessa chuckled, fascinated by Riley's playful audacity. As tempting as that sounds, I'm just trying to get settled here. Sure, but what's life without a little spontaneity? I promise you won't regret it. Riley leaned in close, her voice sultry with that irresistible confidence, much to Jessa's chagrin. For a moment, Jessa hesitated, then decided to jump into the whirlwind. All right. Let's see what trouble we can stir up. As they stood there, eyes locked and hearts racing, Jessa felt a thrill, one that whispered promises of exploration and connection, perhaps even a transformation of her very world. As Jessa took a deep breath, she felt an exhilarating rush flow through her veins. With Riley standing so close, the world around them faded into a gentle hum, the echoes of the morning stillness wrapping around them like a warm embrace. Jessa wasn't sure what she was getting herself into, but the pull of Riley's energy was undeniable. Where are we heading first? Jessa asked, her voice barely above a whisper, her heart pounding with excitement. Trust me, Riley said with a playful smirk. I've got the perfect spot in mind. With that, she gestured for Jessa to follow as she turned and bounded off toward a narrow gravel path leading away from the field. The two women strolled through the verdant countryside, the views of rolling hills and brilliant wildflowers sweeping Jessa off her feet. It was a stark contrast to the life she had left behind in New York City, where everything felt rushed. Here, the vibrant colors of nature seemed to call out to her artist soul. So, what brought you to Eldridge Falls? Riley asked, glancing over her shoulder with a playful grin. I'm an artist, just opened my own gallery, Jessa replied with a hint of pride. I wanted a fresh start, a place where I could focus on my painting without all the chaos. An artist, huh? Riley paused, her interest piqued. I'm dying to see your work. Is it anything like you? Lively and full of color. Jessa chuckled softly, feeling a warmth spread through her cheeks. I hope so. I want to capture the beauty around me, but I'm still figuring out my style. You'll get there, Riley encouraged, her voice playfully teasing. And I'll make sure to give you the exposure you deserve, a crazy artist in a small town. Just what Eldridge Falls needs. Crazy? Says the woman who just crashed her motorcycle. Jessa shot back, laughter bubbling between them. Riley's laughter was infectious, and they both grinned, easily falling into a natural rhythm as they walked. Soon they reached a rustic wooden bridge spanning an idyllic creek, its water sparkling under the sun. Beneath this bridge is my secret spot, Riley announced, leading the way down to the bank. This is where I come to think, or scribble my thoughts in a journal. It's a little messy, but I think you're going to love it. They found a patch of soft grass beneath the bridge. Jessa marveled at the sunlight filtering through the leaves, casting dappled patterns on the ground. It was the perfect place to relax and let the world fade away. Wow, this is beautiful, Jessa said, settling down on the grass. How did you find this spot? I have a knack for discovering places where chaos meets tranquility, Riley replied, flopping back on the grass and looking up at the sky. Just like how I found you launching into the atmosphere, with those profanity-laden exclamations. Jessa joined her, enjoying the soft rustle of grass beneath her as they lay side by side. Honestly, I needed to escape the noise back home. I wanted to paint while feeling inspiration rather than stress. Riley turned her head slightly to face Jessa, her expressive eyes sparkling with mischief. Then let's make a deal, I'll provide the fun, and you'll provide the art. What do you mean? Jessa asked, intrigued. Let me be your muse for a day. You can paint the chaos of my existence, Riley proposed, mischief dancing across her lips. Jessa laughed, shaking her head. And what makes you think you're worthy of being someone's muse? Are you kidding? Riley exclaimed, her confidence radiating in waves. I'm full of stories, drama, and unpredictability. Just wait until you see me trip over a rock while trying to be dramatic, pure gold. Jessa felt a thrill of excitement. All right, but you have to promise me that you'll be as dramatic as you claim. Deal. But only if you promise not to hold back. Their playful banter continued, and as the sun arched higher in the sky, Jessa couldn't help but feel a sense of ease. Riley's laugh, her passion, and her magnetic energy felt like a balm to Jessa's spirit. After a while, they decided to take a break from their laughter and conversations. Jessa pulled out her sketchbook, flipping through the pages until she found a blank canvas. With Riley lounging beside her, she began to sketch. "What are you drawing?" Riley asked, her curiosity piqued. "Just a quick sketch of you," Jessa replied, her pencil dancing across the page, capturing Riley's features as she lay against the grass, carefree and wild. "Me? You've got to be kidding." Riley chuckled. "Why would you want to draw me?" "Because you're captivating," Jessa said softly, her heart beating faster as she glanced at Riley. "There's something about your spirit, it makes me want to capture it." Riley paused, her smile fading slightly. "You're serious?" "Absolutely," Jessa replied, focusing on the lines forming on her paper. "It's refreshing to see someone so unapologetically themselves." Riley rested on her elbows, eyes flickering with vulnerability, something Jessa hadn't anticipated, and it made her heart ache with understanding. "No one's ever said that to me, you know." "Really? How could they not see that?" Jessa asked, genuinely surprised. "You light up a room." "Maybe it's just the unpredictability I've mastered." Riley shrugged even as a smile teased her lips. "But I appreciate you saying it." They sat in a comfortable silence for a moment, the gentle sounds of nature enveloping them. Jessa continued to sketch, and as she did, she felt the electric charge between them growing stronger, an undercurrent of unspoken connection that hummed in her chest. As the afternoon sun began to dip lower in the sky, Jessa put down her pencil and admired the rough sketch she had created. It wasn't just a drawing of Riley, it captured the essence of the moment, the laughter, the beauty of being present, the warmth she hadn't realized she craved. "Wow, you've definitely got skills," Riley remarked, peeking at the sketch. "I look good." "It's you who makes it look good," Jessa replied, feeling heat rise to her cheeks. "I'm just the one trying to capture your madness." Riley sat up, her gaze intense. "Maybe there's something wonderful in this chaos we've created together." Jessa's breath caught in her throat, the implication hanging in the air, heavy yet light. "What do you mean? What if we could shake things up together?" Riley leaned in, her voice low and teasing. "Like go on more adventures? Or leave a trail of chaos in our wake?" "I like the sound of that," Jessa replied, her heart racing at the thought. "What did you have in mind?" "How about we take on the town? We can make it an art project of sorts," Riley suggested. "Make overgrown hedges a thing, or paint graffiti, or simply show them how reckless we can be." A wave of exhilaration washed over Jessa, as the ideas swirled in her mind. "We could be a duo known for colorful chaos." "I love it," she said loudly, her enthusiasm apparent. Riley's laughter erupted, blending with Jessa's excitement as they both eased into the idea. With newfound energy, they collected themselves and made their way back up the path, filled with anticipation for whatever mischief lay ahead. As they walked side by side, a shared understanding blossomed between them, two souls forging something fresh in a world that suddenly seemed a little brighter. The adventure had only just begun, and Jessa could feel in her heart that these colors they began exploring were just the foundation of something beautifully complicated. In that moment, as green swallowed them whole and warmth pooled at their feet, Jessa knew she was right where she was meant to be. With Riley by her side, she was ready to embrace whatever chaos awaited her, starting with the winding roads of Eldridge Falls. As they reached the edge of Eldridge Falls, the town unfolded before them like a canvas waiting for vibrant strokes of paint. The quaint shops had colorful awnings, and the warm glow of afternoon sun cast a golden hue over the cobblestones. Jessa could feel the energy in the air, a mixture of adventure and possibility. "First stop," Riley announced, a mischievous glint in her eye, "the bakery. We need fuel for our escapades." "Sounds perfect." Jessa agreed, her stomach rumbling at the thought of fresh pastries. The bakery was a charming little place, filled with the scent of baked goods and coffee. As they stepped inside, the bell above the door chimed, and the warmth welcomed them. They made their way to the counter, where an elderly woman smiled at them. 2 coffees and what do you recommend? Riley asked, leaning on the counter with an infectious grin. Try the almond croissants. They're my specialty, the baker replied with a twinkle in her eye. Yes, please. Jessa chimed in, excited to indulge in something delicious after their adventure. With coffees and pastries in hand, they settled at a small table by the window, giggling over the absurdity of their unexpected day. Jessa looked at Riley, her heart swelling with affection. Riley's eyes twinkled with mischief, and the way her laughter danced into the air made Jessa feel alive. Okay, we need a plan, Riley said, setting down her coffee and leaning forward, her expression serious yet playful. First, we create some chaos with our art. We can reclaim some of these drab spaces. What do you have in mind? Jessa asked, genuinely curious. I've seen a few dull walls around town that could use some color, Riley suggested. What if we made a community mural? Something that represents not just us but the heart of Eldridge Falls. Jessa felt a flicker of excitement at the idea. That's brilliant. Something bright and bold to make people stop and really see the beauty around them. And maybe we could invite others to join us. Turn it into a little festival. Riley added, her enthusiasm contagious. Jessa grinned, her creative mind already buzzing with ideas. They finished their pastries and coffees, energized and ready to take on the town. As they wandered through Eldridge Falls, Jessa felt the mixture of their laughter and energy blend into the vibrant backdrop of their surroundings. They passed blank walls, and with each one, Jessa's imagination ignited. Inspiration flowed freely as she sketched out designs in a small notepad, while Riley animatedly pointed out places where they could paint. We'll need supplies, Jessa said after considering their options. Let's hit up the local hardware store next. In the store they filled their cart with paint, brushes, and rollers. The shopkeeper, an older man with kind eyes, chuckled at their excitement, encouraging them as they described their plan to revitalize the village. Go on and put your mark on this town, ladies, he called out as they left, a broad smile on his face. With their supplies in hand, Jessa and Riley hiked back to the community center, a large, brick structure that served as a gathering place for the townsfolk. It had a perfectly blank wall, just begging to be filled. As they set up, Riley rallied a small crowd of curious neighbors drawn by their energy. Hey everyone! We're about to transform this wall into something beautiful. Come join us. To Jessa's surprise, several townsfolk, children, teenagers, and a few elders, stepped forward, eager to help. The atmosphere shifted from one of mere curiosity to excitement as the group began to discuss colors and themes. They started painting, laughter echoing in the air as Jessa and Riley guided the community in creating a mural that expressed the spirit of Eldridge Falls. Children giggled as they splashed colors, adults shared stories, and Jessa felt a deep sense of connection with everyone around her. For the first time since arriving in this beautiful town, she felt truly at home. Hours passed, and the sun hung low in the sky, casting a golden light over their handiwork, a stunning mural depicting intertwined lives, local flora and fauna, and colorful swirls that seemed to dance with joy. Finally, they stood back, hands on their hips, as they admired the evolving masterpiece. We did this, Jessa said, her heart swelling with pride. This is beautiful, Riley agreed, her eyes shining with genuine admiration for their work and the community they had built. I knew you had it in you. As the first stars began to twinkle in the evening sky, Jessa turned to Riley, a rush of affection flooding her chest. Thank you for today. For everything. I never expected to feel Southwest connected to this place and to you. Riley smiled, the warmth in her gaze igniting something deep within Jessa. You're special, Jessa. You have a way of bringing light to everyone around you. Before she could stop herself, Jessa leaned forward, capturing Riley's lips in a soft kiss. It felt right, natural. As they pulled away, Riley's breath hitched, a surprise dancing in her eyes. Whoa, Riley murmured, her playful demeanor shifting into something more serious. Where did that come from? Just being honest, Jessa replied, their cheeks brushing against each other, forging an unspoken bond that tied them together. I could get used to this, Riley admitted, a soft smile blooming on her face. They stood close, the warmth of the shared moment enveloping them. The night air was alive with the hum of excitement from their day, and as the stars shone bright above, Jessa saw her future in those beautiful blue eyes. Would you like to go on more adventures together? Riley asked, her voice soft yet full of hope. I'd love that, Jessa replied, a smile spreading across her face. Wherever you lead, I'll follow. They linked fingers, feeling the warmth radiating between them as they prepared to return to the mural, ready to add the final touches. As they painted side by side, Jessa realized she had not only found her muse, she had found a partner in adventure, in art, and perhaps in love. In that moment, beneath a sky scattered with stars and surrounded by the laughter of their new friends, Jessa felt an overwhelming sense of belonging. The beginning of something beautiful was unfolding, and for the first time in a long time, she embraced it wholeheartedly, no longer just colors on a canvas, but strokes of life and love blending together in vibrant harmony. From that day forward, Jessa and Riley would continue to explore, create, and grow together, their love story painting new beginnings with each passing day in Eldridge Falls. The chaos they created would no longer be reckless, but rather a bold declaration of their shared journey, forever etched in the hearts of those who witnessed it. And with every brushstroke, they revealed the beauty of living authentically and passionately, finding joy in every moment they dared to share.